Wednesday Book Vlog. Konnichiwa, my name is Senpai777 and welcome back to another Wednesday Book Vlog. I have some really awesome books to talk about today, and the first one is a classic. I'm pretty sure you guys already know about this one. If you haven't, well, there you go. But the first one we are going to talk about is a standalone, but it's a prelude to a series, and it is J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. Now, you might be thinking, wow, that book looks really beat up. Well, I actually had a movie edition, The Hobbit, from the animation The Hobbit, not the recent The Hobbits. And I went to this library and they were throwing a bunch of, used and beaten up and damaged books. And then I saw this and I was like, hey, I got a brand new book, do you want it? They were like, sure, cool. I said, well, not without a price, I want that book right there. So they took it out of their library index and yeah, I came home with this. So yeah, that's why this book looks all beat the heck. And this book was originally printed in 1982, this particular edition. But I believe this originally came out in the 30s. Yeah, 1937. That was the first time this book was published. And about the book, it's about a mythical land. It's about this ring. No, that's in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, anyway, it's all about a ring. So it's about these hobbits in Hobbiton, I believe let's go. It's been a couple of years since I read it. And this wizard, Gandalf, comes to recruit services of a hobbit. And he basically takes the role of a burglar. So they go on this quest to this mountain to free the land from this dragon. And I think it's a really awesome book. The lore is subtle, but it has a lot of good elements to it. J.R.R. Tolkien didn't expand on it much until like decades later, where he came out with the Before the Rain, the Silmarillion. I think I said that right. Silmarillion? And that one is actually, they're thinking about putting in production. But they recently came out with the Lord of the Rings books. They came out with the new additions to the Hobbits. But they came out with the PG animation of the Hobbit before they came out with that. And, they're okay, but the book I think is a lot better. But yeah, The Hobbit. Starting off with a good one. The next book series I really enjoyed reading is the Vampire Chronicles. And this was my very first one that I read, which was Queen of the Damned. And it's actually my favorite cover. You'll probably see it in the video anyway. And this is not a light read, let me say. There's a lot of huge words. It's based in the 70s, the 60s. I believe it starts out in actually, it's actually been like 2 years since I read this series. It starts out in Europe somewhere. I can't put my finger on where, but it's about this violinist who tried to become a musician, but he's not happy with his life, and then he gets kidnapped by this vampire who makes him into one. And well, I won't say what happened next because spoilers and all, but it's basically chronicling this journey of the vampire Lestat. And he's not good at all. Like, he's completely evil. He's accepted his role as a vampire, but he comes to self-realization that he might actually be damned. because he came from like a Catholic upbringing, and I don't think he comes to a self-realization that he should do good. I think he struggles with the fact that he would go to nothing. I guess because, you know, according to vampire lore, that's where you go, to nothing. And so he struggles with that and tries to find a way to circumvent it. And it's about a villainous vampire that is not good, does bad things, but he tries to stay in tune with his emotions. You know, a lot of things comes up, falls in love, you know, all that stuff. And it's a really huge journey about this vampire and what he struggles with humanity. But it's really full of humongous words, you know, metaphors. I would not recommend this for anyone younger than 18, but if you do, that's on you. But it's a really awesome read. If you can understand the words and understand what it's trying to say, it will take you on a great journey. The next one is a lot more simpler, but not as much less. It is called the Bartimaeus Trilogy. Now you might think it would be pronounced Bartimaeus or Bartimaeus, but it's actually Bartimaeus because the A is silent. So this is a book series about a magi, a young kid magi. It starts out as a young kid, and he comes across this genie, and he procures ownership of the genie in a way that they do in this world. And this genie, he eventually tames the genie because it's like a really, I would say, wild and misbehaving one. And he has this dream of becoming the greatest magi in the whole world, but other evil magi try to stop him because they want to control this genie, because apparently this genie is really powerful and he's got some powers that they don't know about. He goes on this quest to fulfill a prophecy that was made about him, and it's really awesome. It's got a bunch of mythical genie characters that you would not see in any other book. It's really unique what these abilities that they have are. And in the last book, which is actually my favorite cover, they go into the mythical world of the genie. Now, the timeline of this book is kind of set in like 2012-ish, but I would believe it would actually be set in like 1900th century. But I'm not sure because they do talk about like mobiles and whatnot, so I guess I would say places, movies. But they're really not too particular about the timeline. They focus mostly on the magic, the genie, and it's not your particular magic. It's like there's a price to use in it, and only so much you can do, and all that. And there's like a certain set of rules, so it's not like crazy magic, boom, blow up everything. But yeah, that is a really awesome book series. You should check it out, the Bartimaeus Trilogy. The next one I have is really awesome. I actually got this, I think, almost 3 years ago. It's about a necromancer, a female necromancer, who her father died, and she had to take up his mantle to, basically her job is to put the dead to rest, you know, get all these ghosts destroyed, protect lands from the dead, and it's about how she discovers that there's an evil plan to destroy the world with these dead, can't speak today, these dead people, and she goes on a quest to try to fix it, and it just spirals out of control. It's a trilogy. They really didn't expand on it much, but it does tie a lot of stuff together in the last book, so I wouldn't say it's a bad trilogy. And they do have some spin-offs, they do have some extra storybooks. But yeah, it's got full of necromagic, how she has to walk between the borders of life and death to try to keep everything in balance. And she's just trying to prevent apocalyptic, not zombie dead like, but like skeletons and whatnot coming out of the ground and wanting to kill everyone. Not eat them, but kill. So yeah, this is a really awesome series, and you know, the covers on them are really awesome too. I really like that, you know, you can actually feel the cover stuff on it, and there's actually symbols in here that they use. There's actually, you can actually learn the language of the symbols, so I thought that was really cool. So yeah, well, I don't think this trilogy actually has a name. Does it? So, weird thing, the first book, the author didn't put a trilogy name for it, but in the third book, he actually named it the Abhorsen Trilogy. I guess because he didn't think he would continue it. He wasn't sure, but yeah. And last but not least, one of my favorite and one of the most that I've kept up to good condition. It is called the Alex Rider series. This series is really, really cool. It's about 8 books long, and it's about this kid who is recruited into the MI6 division to basically be a kid spy. And he gets all these gadgets to, you know, help him on his missions. Now, you might think that this is like a kid version of like 007, but I mean, it is a kid version in a way, but it does not skimp out on the details and how the book series develops, because one, he is thrust into very dangerous situations. 2, people die. 3, he's trying to save the world from destruction. And I thought it was unique because it's about a kid thrust into the situation, whereas if you would be reading any other spy book, it would be an adult with training and who knows what they're doing and can fight back. This kid is thrust into a situation that he doesn't know anything about, but he comes to find out he was secretly trained without him knowing. So he comes into the fact that he might actually like doing it, but it's a struggle between where he wants to live his life as a high schooler, but he also wants to do, you know, the missions because they're fun and exciting. And it goes through this series where he develops, and it's really, really awesome. There's a lot of new stuff that's integrated, a lot of plot twists that you would not expect at all. I mean, the covers of these books are like amazing. Like this one glows. I've kept all of these in really, really nice condition because they're in chrome and they're all first editions. But yeah, so that concludes the Wednesday book vlog. Let me know if you liked it in the comments below. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next week in the next Wednesday book vlog. Until then, have a great day. Bye bye.